4, 3, 2, 1.
Cue music.
This is Movies First with Alex First.
Every American adult knows exactly where they were and what they were doing on the terrible morning of September the 11th, 2001. I dare say it's not just every American, but most people around the world. Until recently, only a small handful, though, knew about the extraordinary events that unfolded in the immediate aftermath. With the country still reeling, 12 members of the US Army's elite special forces, known as the Green Berets, left their homes and their loved ones to take on a perilous, classified mission in the war-torn country of Afghanistan. These 12 strong were chosen to strike the first blow in America's response to the terrorist attacks. They weren't ordered to go, they volunteered. Now the true story of these dozen warriors is brought to the big screen courtesy of director Nicolai Fuglsig and screenwriters Ted Talley, who is responsible for The Silence of the Lambs, and Peter Craig, The Town. It's based upon a book titled Horse Soldiers by Doug Stanton. Codenamed Task Force Dagger, the mission was as much diplomatic as it was military. The small team was to link up with a local warlord, a leader in Afghanistan's Northern Alliance, in an effort to help him regain control of the region. After 9/11, it was the initial step in America's fight against the Taliban and Al-Qaeda.
You're listening to Movies First. For more, like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Predictable patriotic fare. That in a nutshell is what you get when you enter the cinema to see 12 Strong. Zero Dark 30, this is not. What I can say, though, is that a number of gunfire exchanges are intense and visceral. First up, we have a less than convincing interchange between a captain and his commanding officer in the wake of the Twin Towers attacks. Then, the soldiers have to farewell their wives and children in scenes of angst. Next, testosterone flows into overdrive in a boys will be boys display of mateship to show us just how bonded they are. I wish I could say there was even one line of dialogue here that had a skerrick of originality. On the slate too is confusion over how trustworthy the ragtag bunch of Afghanis the Americans have come to help are. In other words, will this detail be killed even before they start their mission? And finally, there's a phenomenal heroic victory against the odds. The fact that this was achieved on horseback does indeed add an element of interest. But the actors led by the square-jawed and reliable Chris Hemsworth and Michael Shannon were unfortunately at the beck and call of some less than inspiring scriptwriting. And the movie seems to go on interminably. It goes for 130 minutes. It needed a lot of tightening. The material, although compelling in and of itself, suffers from the kid-glove treatment it's been afforded. 12 Strong is watchable, but uninspiring and decidedly lazy. It scores a 5.5, possibly a 6 out of 10.
You've been listening to Movies First with Alex First. Subscribe to the full podcast at Audioboom, Stitcher and iTunes, or your favourite podcast distributor. This has been another quality podcast production from Bytes.com.